Viewer discretion is advised. Your fave will be criticized.
That's Shan.
That's Chris.
Welcome to CCTV, the nonstop pop show.
And today we are heading to Pop 101 class and learning about the 1 in a million K-pop girl group, Twice.
If you're wondering who we are, Shan and I have a huge range of experience in the music industry, from performing on stage to working at record labels. So we have a lot of insight into the crazy music industry. So I am very excited to talk about Twice today because their success has been really awesome to watch, because as we both are true second-gen K-pop fans, we experienced the Wonder Girls attempt, BoA's attempt. All of these artists really paved the way for, the success of this generation of K-pop artists. So before we get started in the class, Shan, do you like Twice?
Do I? I really do like Twice. When I was younger, I definitely I might even say loved them. Because at the time, Girls' Generation was fading out a little bit. Miss A was gone. And I had watched their show 16. And I grew an attachment to these girls. And I went to their concert. Good concert, probably the best concert I went to in 2019, honestly. So I'm really excited to finally talk about them because I've been vouching for them for like as long as we've been having this show. What about you? Do you like them?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, they're not my favorite. The whole kind of cutesy girl group has never been my favorite. I do appreciate a fiercer girl group overall. But of course, through the years, it's like undeniable how catchy some of their songs are. And some of the dance routines are just so good. And I appreciate their signature sound a lot now. So it was just interesting for me to kind of go through their career, especially because their 7 years are almost up. So it's kind of the perfect time to do a little retrospective.
Yeah, indeed. I agree. So we have created playlists for you all to follow along on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Music. And if you want to listen to the full tracks or watch the music videos, the links are below. So let's get it started. Classes in session! Under JYP Entertainment, one of K-pop's biggest agencies, Twice was formed through a competition show called 16 in 2015. And through this show, the group was actually supposed to be 7 members: Nayeon, Jungyeon, Sana, Jihyo, Mina, Dayeon, and Chaeyoung. But JY Park also added Suyu or Chui because of the fan reception. A lot of fans wanted her there. And then also, even though Momo was eliminated, he brought her back on at the public airing of the finale. So I thought that was really awesome. And he felt that she was an addition, a great performer, and needed to be in this group. And he named the group Twice because the group appeals both sonically and visually to capture your heart. And the group finally made its official debut on October 20th, 2015 with Like Ooh-Ahh, Ooh-Ahh.
Taken from the EP, The Story Begins, Like Ooh-Ahh is a cheerful color pop track about wanting to fall in love. And the concept for this era focuses on the cute charm and featured songs like Do It Again, which was a song performed on 16, and they were both produced by Black-Eyed Pilsung, who ended up kind of working on a lot of their discography as well. So what did you think of Like Ooh-Ahh?
You know what? Like Ooh-Ahh, oh my God, it's absolutely perfect for a girl group debut. And especially after coming away from coming away from Miss A's Only You. And how I think he actually produced that as well. It was bright, again, another color pop track, but it stated what they wanted just up front, right? So in this video, each girl is depicted with a persona or personality that really corresponds with their image that was depicted on the show and their position in the group. Like we have Nayeon, who's more of like the popular girlfriend type and the center of the group. Jihyo, the 10-year trainee who was considered the quote unquote fat girl, was put in a tracksuit to show how hard she works and that she is a team player and a good leader. Sana was the likable cheerleader type that was introduced through her charms. Momo was the hot dancer type. Chaeyoung was the edgy girl crush. Chui was the girl next door. Mina, the black swan. Taeyeon was the quirky cutie, and Junghyun was the friendly tomboy. So you could see all of their characters culminating into this music video and even in the song as they describe, I walk down red carpets and people say how beautiful I am. I'm like this, but why haven't I found love yet? And I absolutely love the concept. I was a young girl in college when this came out. So I was like, yes, I just want to fall in love. You know, I still feel that way now, but it's probably one of my favorite debuts. What about you? What did you feel about the song and the video overall?
Super strong debut. That chorus is so catchy. That hook is just so perfect. And I thought they've done a good job overall, especially with the start of this song, with kind of being cutesy but not too annoying. You know, I think especially from kind of the more Western culture, you know, side of things, we're not as used to the kind of very kind of cutesy image. I think that is more common in Asian cultures. But I think they walked that line very well from the start, kind of knowing that they wanted to appeal internationally. So I thought they did a great job there. And also kudos to the choreographers from the start too, because I think that has been such an important aspect of their entire career and why their songs have caught on. Because the choreography makes it even more catchy, because now you can't listen to any of these songs without doing some of it at least, or picturing it if you can't do it. So I think a really, really strong debut, and they do a great job in the video as well. Just a ton of natural charisma.
Oh yeah, for sure. And this video is interesting because a lot of people didn't get that zombie concept. And I have a theory. I've always had this kind of theory when I watched it. So with the dilapidated buildings and the dreadful zombies, I think that represents like the average listener or like the audience, whoever they're trying to appeal to. Monotony has turned us into mindless drones and creatures. And Twice was the group that was meant to wake us up and make us feel that ooh-ah hage. All right. So I think they definitely accomplished that goal. And even though they did not win first with this song, they came back even harder with Cheer Up.
So Cheer Up was the group's true breakthrough. And this was released in April 2016, along with the EP Page 2. And the sales were absolutely huge, because not only did they get their first music show win, they also won several awards, including Song of the Year at the Melon and Mnet Asian Music Awards, which is huge. For their second single, that's crazy. Also, they broke the 100,000 albums sold milestone in Korea just already, again, with their second EP. Like, that's absolutely crazy, especially because historically boy groups do sell more than girl groups. So it's great that these girls kind of came through so quick.
That's right, my girls. I'm so proud. You know, I think the biggest thing and the biggest memed moment of this song was Sana's pronunciation of the shy, the sha. It became such a huge deal. At first, she thought people were making fun of her, but it's just like, no, the way you said that was just so cute that it's infectious. So on top of her, I guess her mispronunciation, or just whatever, whoever decided to let her keep that take, congratulations. You made the song even more iconic. And even though I did not buy this album, there was a Chaeyoung designed album cover where she drew like the jacket. It was so pretty. And you could really start to see that they were putting little bits and pieces of themselves inside of their projects.
I'm going to be honest, I didn't really get why the song made as big an impact as it did, because I actually do prefer Ooh-Ahh to this and a lot of their other singles. But I appreciate what it's done, but don't fully get the why it's so popular.
It's the sha part. That sha took the world by storm. I think it was the sha. I really think it's the sha. Because I agree with you. Even with the whole like iconic moments of having like a Sydney Campbell in the video, or like a Sailor Moon or Tomb Raider, it just wasn't like, oh my gosh, this is the best music video ever, right? But like I said, the sha, and then the whole high teen flirty concept was still there. I think with Page 2, they were able to maintain that youthful effervescence that you can see in a lot of like what high teen, like 16 to maybe 20-year-olds. So like, you know, so it's a great little area that was not being targeted, right? And then they had songs like Touchdown on that album. It was such an anthemic track, and it actually has become one of my favorite songs that they do when they do live shows, because they have like a band version now. So they definitely really try to, I guess, come a little bit more correct, because even the singing got better on this album. And it's not like my favorite. It's a nice little sophomore situation, but I definitely have to say that the next single is my absolute favorite in their earlier days.
Yes,
sure.
Because they definitely kept the momentum going in October 2016 with the release of the EP Twicecoaster, Lane 1, and the title track, TT.
TT. What a great song, right? Was produced by Black Eyed Peas song and Sam Lewis, who wrote the song and also the last two singles. This EP eventually became the best-selling K-pop girl group album of the year, with good reason. I mean, TT was one of those songs that, again, just hit the charts and hit when it came out. Everyone was really excited. I was in college at the time. I was super young in college, and my friend and I were really into Halloween. So the music video, even though it has the same kind of like 9 members, 9 looks, it was just so fun to see them go as ghosts in a mansion. And I really think they embodied, again, that college, high school age sentiment where it's like, I'm free to make my own choices, but why can't I have my way? That's literally one of the lyrics there. And it's so true. It's like, I'm old enough to do this, but I still can't get what I want. And it's even regarding love. So I thought it was super cute, especially the choreography.
The choreography. Leah Kim, man, one of her best works, I think. Like, it's just great balance of sexy and cute. Like the with the, I mean, they have like the cute face, but then they're like doing hip rolls and stuff. Just like it's kind of hilarious. And I think also just props to the writers as well, because the whole like just using TT as like the emoticon as an inspiration for a song. I think that's just genius, honestly. But yeah, this song is just, it was inescapable. Even if you didn't want to hear it, you heard it. Like, everyone was doing it. Yeah. It was,
this is one of those like this is one of those like, I don't like Twice. It don't matter. You don't have to like them. You know what the song is.
Yeah, you know it. You know the dance. Yeah.
Exactly. I really do like the choreography for this as well. And I think what made the song really special and gave it its mature sound was the bass line and the drums and the chorus. It was just, it just had a nice groove to it. It was kind of funky. It was just nice. It wasn't too childish, I guess, to kind of give it, it wasn't too like, it was like, boom. That's not the drums, but my point is the percussion definitely drove the chorus and kept the momentum going. And also the vocal delivery wasn't as high pitched as the others. So I think that is also something that drew people in as well. And I think around this time, the girls actually introduced their official colors as apricot and neon magenta, and they announced their first light stick, the candy bong, which I thought was so cute because literally it's a lollipop.
Yes. The light stick is really, really cute, and it looks awesome. Like in the crowd, it's really well designed. Yeah. After a successful run of their first ever concert tour, Twiceland, Twice released Twicecoaster Lane 2, which was a repackage of the previous EP, and it was the title track Knock Knock, and this was released in January 2017. So again, this is just an earworm. Like, wow, like their A&R is killing it at this point. Like, it's kind of crazy how catchy these songs are. Like, you only need to hear them a couple times and you pretty much can sing along and hum along at the very least. So yeah, it's just absolutely amazing. What do you think of Knock Knock?
I remember not being particularly moved by the song at the time. I just felt like it was a little too cutesy for me, which is really strange because I love cute things. I love when things have ooey gooey cinnabon centers, right? But this song just didn't do it for me. I think the intro of this like I didn't like the intro. Again, like you said, the earworm quality definitely set in because the older I got, coincidentally, the more I appreciate the song. And I noticed that the song is pretty wintry for being released in February. The guitar riffs, the bells just gives me holiday, gives me wintry vibes. So I just thought, okay, I don't really want to listen to this right now. The video is super cute. I love how they are in a little slumber party and you get to see their personalities as they're just performing to the camera when they come down the steps. There's a lot of cute moments. JYP comes to knock on their door and they're like, oh,
that's the best part.
God, yeah, this guy. But I think is what's really interesting is that a lot of people don't notice or maybe don't realize, I don't know, that Twice actually does have a lore as well. This video features the girl in the slumber party like environment, as I mentioned, but in this video there is a book of fairy tales, and eventually as they're reading through it, they go outside, they get locked out the door, some type of magic takes place and they get blue skidooed inside of this storybook, and they are transported into the haunted mansion in which TT takes place. So even though the girl's lore is like non-linear, they're very much connected. And oh my God, I went down a rabbit hole of just like, you know, Twice-spiracies, and we're going to get to that. I promise.
All right, so these girls just never stop because in May 2017, they released another single, and this song is Signal. And it was actually produced by JYP himself, which is really interesting. I want to tell you why in a moment. The track went on to win Song of the Year and Best Dance Performance at the 2017 Mnet Asian Music Awards, also known as MAMA. Members Jio and Chaeyoung got to co-write a track for the EP, Eyes, 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 and with that started a lot more contributions from the other members going forward with the other albums. So that's really fun. And JYP actually being involved, I have to say though, I feel like he has a thing that he does. He'll put out 3 singles with other producers, like maybe like an Ear Attack will do it, or like I Pilsung would do it, and then maybe someone else would touch it. 3rd single, 4th single, he'll start to kind of creep out and be like, hey, here's my idea. Interesting.
And unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on what side you're on, I remember this release being a disappointment for a lot of people, including me and my friends who were Twice fans. And I think some of the girls believed it to be kind of meh as well. It was pretty evident. Even when they talk about it, it's not like the most fond memories, right? But I mean, it's a single that's given to you, you do it. I think between the Mimo, like Mina Momo rap in the beginning, that trying to let you know.
I hate the chants rap, whatever you want to call it. It's so annoying, and it happens so many times in this song.
But no, it's true. Exactly. Imagine a bunch of fans used to a certain structure with the Black Eyed Peas song and then the Sam Lewis's, you know, things like that. Even Ear Attack, when he would produce for them, we didn't hear anything like this. So when we heard this, we were like, what is happening? And then the overall composition and arrangement, I don't think people were really keen on it. I even remember seeing people start to like make rearrangements of the song, and that was kind of some of the first times I've seen videos like that on YouTube. Now it's like commonplace, but I remember this era was so funny. The powers, the aliens, and then even some people were outraged about Chaeyoung cutting her hair. So it wasn't good. It wasn't a good time. I thought she looked cute, but it wasn't the greatest time for the girls.
I have to say, I actually do love the music video for this, though. I think the alien thing is funny. I love the powers. I don't know. I think it's very cute.
Me too. I think.
But yeah, the song itself is just okay, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, so in June 2017, the group officially debuted in Japan. But since the group has a very different discography in Japan, we will leave those releases for part 2 of this 101. Stay tuned, but we're going to concentrate on the Korean releases for this one. Later that year in October, Twice finally released their first full-length Korean album, Twicestagram, with the lead single, Likey.
근데 좋아요 잠도 못자도 지각하게 돼도 좋은걸 설렌다 me like it me like it like it like it me like it like it like it 두근두근두근.
So Likey was a track inspired by the beauty standards and needs for like on social media. And the music video was filmed in the public, everyone, in real life in Vancouver, Canada, which is awesome because typically they film in studio, very early SM style, you know? And with this album, Twicestagram, which was inspired by their Instagram handle, the members of the group contribute to the writing of the tracks on the album, and the project received positive reviews, which is really exciting for them, right? So this song, I remember it was playing, I was doing a musical and I played it while we were all waiting for like sound check. And all you hear is Likey, 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 Likey. And one of my co-stars is like, I do not like you. And I was like, oh, you're such a freaking hater. But yeah, this that's my little anecdote from this era. I just remember the song coming out and I liked it. And I just kept playing it and playing it and playing it to the point where my co-star was like, nah, get the heck out of here with that. But I really did like this project. It was cute. It was a nice little progression after Signal, because again, Signal was not our like favorite moment. I think it's growing on people now, right? But yeah, I think this started my favorite kind of era with Twice, because then it became like a hit after hit after hit kind of thing with them. And this video also ties in with Twice lore again. And I know it sounds weird, but there are some floating theories about them being aliens. And again, the storyline is non-linear. But before I get into all of that about this video, I do like the song. Again, Black Eyed Pills song did his thing. I love that there's like a lot of brass in this song, which is really unexpected. And I love Momo's pre-hooks with the BB cream ba 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 and her dance solo, and Jiho's second verse with the woo. Those parts are standouts for a lot of people. As like a non-once, what did you think about this song when it came out and even now?
This is kind of in the middle for me of their title tracks. I do think it's better than Signal, but it's not as good as like TT So I think it's kind of in the middle there. My favorite part is probably the rap in the middle and then leading into Momo's dance break. I think the rap is really interesting. There's like this kind of xylophone sounding kind of thing going on in the back. There's like 1/8 count of where it's just cuts out and it's like the drums only, and it's just interesting sonically. And I think the two rappers, right? Like they definitely have interesting tones, you know, which make them stand out quite a bit. And I think this is just a great example of one where they both sound really good.
Back to the video though, and how the songs connect. Again, the overall theme is that these girls are aliens. All right. Again, Twice-spiracy timeline probably needs to be a Patreon episode at this point, but it would appear that although out of order, these videos are connected, with Signal being the first. They're aliens coming to Earth. They want to know how to, fall in love and things like that. So they try to appeal to another alien. He doesn't want them. So then they get rejected and go to try to figure out what humans are really like. Hence them going around the city and looking around. And even if you notice in the video, there is an alien on Jiho's camcorder. I sound like such a tin hat conspiracy theorist right now, but do not reject these ideas. If you're a once and you think that you know the theory, please let me know. If you think there's no theory, please let me know. I'm open for it. But yeah, it's all connected. And then even in, I think, the bridge section, Jiho is standing with I think Heart Shaker as like the name of the station, and that would become their next single.
So true to K-pop industry standards, Twice repackaged the album into the Christmas-inspired Merry and Happy in December 2017, and the single Heart Shaker and the album continued the group's trend of huge sales numbers. Like it's absolutely insane when you go and look at what they accomplished with each release. And luckily, I think the music stands up to that also, because I actually like this one a lot. It's a little more understated, cutesy, a little more true to their age now that they're getting a little older. And yeah, I think this is one of the highlights for me of their discography. What do you think?
Indeed. Again, like I said, this is introducing my favorite set of releases because this is where they were just pumping it out. Like after Signal, that little lull, things started getting really, not really good, but it got good in a sense where it's like, this is the Twice sound. This is Twice as the college age music. This is Twice as, hey, we're the nation's girl group. I'm trying not to draw any comparisons to any other group. It might come out a little bit later, but let's be real here. At the time, one group was phasing out with their anniversary. It was the last single. And then Twice became that group. They fit the silhouette and the trajectory was the same. So again, favorite set of releases with this whole little like next several singles. As I mentioned before, it's subtle and the singles music video are like really connected to, again, all of it. I think because Jiho was standing at that station, it just made a nice little transition because the girls ended up being on the train as they're performing in this, performing the song. I think this song was an upgrade from Knock Knock in the sense where the guitar riffs are still very Christmassy or holiday wintry feel. But it's just more, I guess it just, for me, it just feels better structured. It's more interesting. The chorus, which is iconic for that line, it's isanhage, but a lot of people hear it as isanage. So if you're an English speaker, it is so funny to just yell isanage. But yes, just for clarification, people, it's isanhage. Okay, just but I don't know a single once, or even a person that knows the song that has not yelled isanhage in the song. This era was really interesting because I remember seeing the teasers and seeing Nayeon's hip pads creasing in her jeans. Amazing. And I remember this just being a really fun holiday song. And even though it's not an official Christmas song, I do listen to it every winter.
The group had a very busy 2018 because with the rising success and new singles and an album in Japan, the group still managed to release 4 Korean projects also, which is just insane. These girls were working hard. So first up, in April 2018, Twice released the hugely successful EP and title track of the same name, What Is Love? All right, so this song was written and produced by JYP yet again. His claws are truly in this group now. What do you think of What Is Love?
Now, when I was saying that this was like the era of singles I really liked, that includes the Japanese singles as well, because they started getting, again, y'all, if y'all want it, let us know. We will discuss the Japanese singles, but just let us know. But yeah, I remember just, they would not stop, but I liked their Japanese singles too, right? I think compared to the Japanese singles and then their previous tracks, this one was a little safe. I think the video added to the appeal. Again, it was another one of spot the characters. You see different couples through iconic movies like Pulp Fiction, La La Land, Ghost, etc. And being Our Lady of Perpetual Singledom, I thought this song really struck a chord in my heartstrings because I was like, oh, I wonder what love is too. But yeah, again, this as touching as the song was and as sweet as it is, I do believe that the song kind of lumps sounds I've heard before. There's a synth sound in Knock Knock, the one I don't like, that is present in this song. The guitar riffs, the twinkling bells. So it was a bit repetitive. Again, but what can you do? It was a catchy song. The video was cute, and a highlight was definitely seeing them perform in the dresses. They look so pretty. So pretty. What did you think about this song and like the overall like project? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think the word safe is the perfect one for this because definitely, I mean, just in preparation for this episode, I was kind of just listening to their catalog, but especially just the title tracks, just kind of, in a playlist, just all in a row. Check out our playlist if you want them. But it was really getting very samey at this point. Like I was very much like, You guys
Yeah.
they dominated the kind of cutesy concept, right? Like that's kind of
Yeah.
that is their sound really. And they
Yeah.
did such a good job of that. But then now they're just kind of just recreating it or just trying to just kind of do the
Yeah.
same thing. And so once you get
Yeah.
kind of this far into their career, it's kind of like, okay, I think I'm ready for new sounds. And if you don't delve into their back catalog, you'd think they were very one note. And I thought that too, you know, at the time. And so yeah, I'm a little annoyed that they went with this as the title track, because I think there's better in their catalog. Yeah.
There is, and even on this album, like I think he was just trying to embody that whole hyper pop sound. Like you said, they had already capitalized on it. Let's just recreate it. And that's why they didn't have Black Eyed Pills song or JYP actually kind of like do it all the way. I think Collapsed One actually did What Is Love too. So they brought in someone else to recreate the wheel. Like I said, I do understand your sentiment. I think even before we even started this show, I was like, oh my God, can we just do an episode where we talk about the B-sides of Twice? It's actually really good. And they do have bigger and bolder sounds in their projects, and they have deeper thematic elements outside the curiosities of love. But again, I think just as a company, JYP has a tendency to pigeonhole the artists. At the end of the day, they're not exactly the most innovative. And then when they do find a sound, they kind of just stick to it because it's safe. And honestly, at this point, I actually started to wonder if we were going to ever hear anything or get the same energy that like Ooh-Ahh had presented. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I'm curious what you think of the next single then, because in July of 2018, they re-released the What Is Love EP under the title Summer Nights with the single Dance the Night Away.
Let's dance the night away. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, let's go. 저 바다로 나 들릴 때 소리 질러. Let's dance the night away.
All right, so Dance the Night Away. For me, very mediocre. It felt like they were kind of just trend chasing a little bit. This kind of, I don't know. I feel like the production just sounds really basic. It's I don't know. This song is not for me. What do you think of this track?
Once, and people who are not Twice fans, I have to be real. At first, when I heard the song, I liked it. I was still young, college age still, and I thought, oh my God, this is so cute. This is so much fun. I even took a dance class at I Love Dance here in NYC. Shout out to them, because I could have been in that cover video, y'all, but I had to work. I'm still bitter about it, if you haven't noticed. But yeah, you're right. It is very simple. I mean, the bouncy synths are my favorite part of the song. But like you said, I think just the overall production was a little just not kitschy, campy. I don't know what the word is, but it's just it wasn't good. The brass,
not nice to the not pleasant to the ears at all. And like the chorus melody too, it just feels so like uninspired. Dance the night away. You know, like it's just like it just doesn't feel like any like real like thought and like artistry was really put into it. Like I don't know, it just feels very uninspired. Yeah.
You know, I even kind of like have a note in my mind. I wrote it down. I was like, don't forget this. It sounds like a bit of a teen movie soundtrack. Now, if you like teen movies, you might be like, oh yeah, lump that in with the beach scene. That's completely fine. But is this something that I would show someone? Not really. I wouldn't say this is Twice. I do remember about this era though. The thing that really sucked me in was Ga Ji-ho. I know her name is Park Ji-ho, but if you're once, you know that Ji-ho was looking like a snack. This whole concept, right? And even though this song isn't their strongest, it's actually one of their more prized songs, with 10 wins coming up behind Cheer Up and TT. So again, even though we don't like it, the once men
in Korea,
digging it. You know, that's what I'm saying. I think it's the dudes.
Yeah.
I think backing these girls up. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with it.
Also, can I just say, Ji-ho is my favorite member. I think just from watching all the concerts and stuff, like she just seems the most in it. Like she always just looks like she's living the best life, like every time she's on stage. So I appreciate her a lot. One
thing about this video, even though it's kind of just like, or just at the beach, I'm not sure if you noticed or even remember, but about this video and era, I think it was a little strange, the styling. That sentence I just said was very strange too, but the styling was more strange in my sentence. Basically, the girls were wearing club dresses and black dresses with like veils here and there. Like some members wearing black, some are wearing bright colors. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Dance the night away. It's supposed to be like summer nights. Why are some of them dressed like they're, at a funeral? And it feels like when you watch the video, like these girls were shipwrecked. But I kind of have a theory that only a couple of them survived. Again, I know it is ominous. But Twice is no stranger to mixing dark and cute, which is present in their next single, Yes or Yes.
Released in November 2018, Yes or Yes, and the EP of the same name helped the group make a huge accomplishment. They accumulated over 3 million albums sold in South Korea alone, which is absolutely insane. Wow. So as a song, I do like Yes or Yes a lot. It has some really interesting production, and I think the vocal production is really good. I think Jiho and Nayeon, they have great voices, and they are the singers of the group. But I think this chorus actually is perfect for both of their ranges, and I think is a good showcase for the two of them.
Right.
So yeah, I just thought it was good to point out. But these lyrics.
Oh,
what are these lyrics? They are very creepy because let's be real. If a boy sang these, everyone would be canceling them. They'd be canceled already. Yeah. The second one sentence came out their mouth, like, make your choice. Is it yes or yes? I will say no to your no. I respect your choice, but reject your rejection. This is like really bad. It's like very like stalker.
Yeah, very ultimatum, like, kiss or death, like, kind of thing. That's hilarious. I actually wrote down, this is one of those, if a boy group did this kind of thing. And it's true. I have to be honest though, without considering the implications of the song and the mild controversies, the song has become one of my favorites, and I liked it then too. I think the teaser was interesting because we have Mina introducing the song in English, very much how Jessica would introduce G, and how many years prior. So I thought that was really cute. The plaid styling was back, and we hadn't seen like that kind of color scheme in a really long time for them. And the percussion of the song was really fun, and the genre switches were tasteful. There was like a little bit of like a reggae moment here and there. There was a little chanty cheerleader moment, and I really appreciate the thought that went into the video. And earlier I had mentioned that conceptually there's a lot of lore. The girls may not be completely aware of it, and I've watched some videos where they were like, I don't know what was happening, and that's completely fine. I think the creative team is thoughtful though. Again, with the lyrics that are creepy, there is a creepiness that is featured in the video. The girls are in a place called Twice Square. It's a rustic town full of spooky powers and mystical elements, right? I'm not saying that if you do any type of tarot or have clairvoyant abilities that it's creepy, but adding a little bit of edge to a song like this definitely helps sugarcoat the meaning, right? There's a pleasure that comes with yes, but there's also a danger that comes with it. And even the stylizing of the yeses for the single are mirrored. So it's like you could say yes, but what's the negative side of saying yes as well? So again, I appreciate that the optics, that the creative team is thinking, okay, this don't sound right. Let's try to sugarcoat this, because it doesn't. But again, I like this song. It reminded me a little bit of like Ooh-Ahh, but it wasn't quite there yet. Almost there, but the energy was a lot more feistier than their other, like, I don't know what love is, show me. It was the best thing that they ever did.
Okay, I'll take that attempt at the transition, because with the success of the last Christmas themed release, Twice did it again with the release of The Best Thing I Ever Did and the repackaged EP, The Year of Yes. But Twice was just getting bigger and bigger, and the trend continued with the release of the Fancy You EP and the track Fancy, released in April 2019.
Oh yes, Fancy. Fancy was one of those songs, again, that marked another era that I would enjoy. Okay, first of all, we got the little Sailor Moon hand going on here. And I think again, even though Twice isn't all the way directly involved in their concepts, I do appreciate the thought that there are 9 girls in this group. What can we do? They've always kind of gone for this Avengers kind of thing. When you have a culmination of different iconic women from movies, and then even with Cheer Up, there was an Avenger style video. The styling for this era was Avengers. Even the way they were stacked on the Fancy You album cover was very much Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I think this is probably one of my favorites because they look like grown-ups for the first time. They look like grown-ups, but without looking too old. Like you mentioned, they do teeter that youthful sound, but like grown-up appeal as well. Jonghyun had longer hair. Oh my god, crazy. Gio had short hair. I was like, whoa, what's happening? The song was cute. It was groovy. The video was dark, but not moody. And of course, each scene kind of depicted different kinds of love, like, you know, head over heels kind of love, and chocolate and sweets, and feeling like you're on top of the moon, top of the world, you know, cloud 9. Very just typical lovely things when you think of love, right? And even some of the tracks on this album were going for a more senior and college tone. Oh my goodness, songs like Stuck in My Head and Strawberry were definitely highlights from that Fancy You album. Like there's a bunch of things.
Yes, Strawberry is a good one. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I agree. I remember, so I didn't really follow Twice that closely. I actually didn't really follow K-pop that closely these couple years because all my favorite groups from the second generation were like disbanding.
Right.
But I remember Fancy was the first Twice song in a while, I think maybe since TT, to like truly get my attention. Like I kind of knew the other songs, but this was the first one in a while where I was like, wow, like they killed that. And I agree. I think part of it is because they were finally showing a bit of growth and maturity, something a little sexier, both sonically and visually. And just undeniable catchiness again. I mean, that,
oh my God,
it's insane. And like the dance routine, it really is just like perfect in like every way.
They actually took this lovely song and all the other songs on their catalogs and put it in their world tour, Twicelights. And later that year, they would go on tour in Korea, here in the United States, Mexico, and Japan. But in July 2019, Mina actually announced that she was going to go on a hiatus due to a sudden extreme anxiety and insecurity toward performing on stage, which later led to a diagnosis for anxiety disorder. So what are your thoughts about that, especially after our episode with Shiny and even now with the current climate of mental health?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I mean, I think first off, I just want to say it's great that mental health is now taken more seriously. And I do think we have Jonghyun, unfortunately, to thank for that. But I appreciate that these big companies are actually giving these artists the time that they need, if they need it, to go away. I think it's interesting, you know, on YouTube, they released a documentary showing them on tour during this tour. And Mina's in kind of the first half of it. And then the girls actually do talk about her little hiatus in the middle of it. And I think you can just kind of see like just the pressure to look perfect. And I think that's in the entire music industry, but that's especially in K-pop. And that can really take a toll on anyone. And when you're in the public eye, that's kind of, it's exasperated even more, right? And so, I'm just glad for her that she was able to step away and that she did eventually come back as well. But it is unfortunate that they had to kind of do the whole tour, most of the tour without her. Yeah,
I remember her not being there when I went. They came to Newark, and I went, y'all. I'm bragging. Yes, I did. Yes, I am. But it was interesting because every time she would come on the screen, the ones were very, very, very upset. Like, oh no, Mina. And it's so interesting because it's like, even though there is 9 of them, they made sure to what's the word for it? I guess kind of like leave a space open for her for certain sections of dances, and they acknowledged that she wasn't there. They didn't pretend that she was absent. And also because there are 9 members, they kind of held it down without her. Not saying
Mhm.
that and none of the girls are important, but it's good to know that if one of them needs to step away, that the whole group won't fall apart. Because there's nothing worse than having a group that cannot stand on its own 2 feet without a member there, you know? Because what else will that person come back to if the group just falls apart?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they did a good job picking up for her, not after her, excuse me, picking up for her. And I have to say that concert was probably one of the best concerts that I went to in 2019, 2018.
Mhm.
Twice girls were giving it to me, man. There was some hit and misses here and there, but for the most part, overall, one of my favorite shows.
Awesome.
Sure.
Yeah, actually, I did in preparation of this episode, I did watch the Seoul concert from this tour and I enjoyed it. I think it's interesting actually kind of watching each member and kind of seeing their strengths with the different songs in their catalog. Because definitely some of them are better and more comfortable with the cutesy stuff. And then some of them are more comfortable with the fiercer, kind of sexier stuff. So it's just kind of interesting seeing that dynamic.
Yeah, these girls definitely prove that they are absolutely amazing and that they are worth all the hype, especially with their next song, Feel Special.
You make me feel special. 세상에 아무리 날 주저앉혀도 아픈 웃음들이 날 찔러도 네가 있어 난 다시 웃어. That's what you do.
In September 2019, Twice released the EP and track Feel Special. And this title track was co-written by JYP with lyrics inspired by a conversation he had with the members where they expressed that it was hard to feel special under the critical lens of the media and the general pressures of fame. So that's awesome. I'm glad that they can have these types of conversations with him and that they're able to also talk about that. I think to also kind of in line with the whole kind of mental health kind of now being a bigger topic that people can actually talk about, I think it's good that they, even though they're supposed to be idols and that they're perfect, they can express that, it is actually a really tough job that they have.
Agreed.
And so for the other tracks on the EP, all the members of Twice participated in the songwriting, and the group broke their own first week sales record in South Korea with the release of this EP. So Feel Special. What do you think of Feel Special?
Go off. Oh my God. You know what? I'm actually really happy that you know the choreography a little bit. Because I remember you and I discussing Feel Special maybe a year or a while ago. And you saying, I get the sentiment, but have you grown to like it a little bit more?
I have grown to like the song a lot. Yeah. I think it may be actually my favorite Twice song, period.
This makes me so happy.
Yeah, because I do think it's a good progression of the original sound, but there's maturity there. It shows, I think, JYP productions, as we've talked about, can be questionable at times, but I think this one does show how good he can be and how his kind of signature 80s retro sound can really work. And the chorus just has a great melody that actually allows the members to showcase a bit more emotion. I think a lot of their songs, the title tracks at the very least, they kind of just have to sing in this kind of very same tone throughout the whole thing because they're just expressing, because they're trying to smile and be cute, and this song has a little bit more feeling in it. And so I appreciate the depth. And so, this one has definitely grown on me.
Oh my God, this song is so pretty. Oh, when I heard it, I thought, holy crap. First of all, in the teasers, they look freaking amazing. So JYP was already setting us up for just gorgeousness. We already know they're pretty girls, but honey, they looked so good. And again, like you said, the sentiment was delivered very well. And again, a lot of people do drag JYP, but let's be real here. He does treat his artists a lot better than the average company. Even before all of the controversy, he would talk to them and be like, hey, listen, don't do that, or hey, we can try that. Stubborn about certain things, but for the most part, a lot better. So I definitely appreciate that he let this girl group who's always I'm in love say, I don't feel like I matter. I feel like no one would notice I'm not even here, but you're the person that makes me feel special. That takes a lot it's not a 180, but essentially it's kind of what lies behind that sparkly, shining apricot neon magenta heart and its fear of not feeling special. And oh my God, it gets me in my feelings because I think at one point or another, we all have felt like this at one point. You know, maybe I'm not doing something well enough. And someone says, you know what, you did a great job today. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Relationships, family relationships, friendships, you could totally just relate to this in some kind of capacity. And I like that the percussion in this song, like you said, because it has that 80s feel, that retro feel, it kicks the song up into a gear after that first verse that does not let up. And it does sound a lot more jovial than the lyrics, you know, depict themselves. But it's a good song. I really enjoyed Sleek Twice for sure. Mature Twice. And the video is really pretty. It features each member in like a beautiful setting, but completely isolated. And as the video goes on, each member comes in contact with the other. And there's even once inspired imagery with the umbrella that is introduced. And the whole video symbolized the connection between the girls and the fans.
So in February 2020, not only did Mina announce that she was making a full-time return to the group, yay, the group also announced that they had signed a distribution deal with Republic Records in the United States as part of JYP Entertainment's partnership with the label. But with COVID just around the corner, unfortunately, we don't really know the extent to what American promotional plans were planned or could have resulted as a result of this, which is unfortunate because it would have been really interesting to see kind of a really heavy push on this end. But yeah, so in June 2020, the group released the EP and track More and More, setting the record for the highest sales volume for a girl group in Korea's Gaon chart ever, and also achieving the group's first appearance on the Billboard 200.
I wanna have more, 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 and more. 멈추기 싫어, more, 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 and more. 그러니 한 번 더. More. 멈추지를 못해.
And this single was actually composed by huge Western artists such as Zara Larsson, Julia Michaels, Justin Tranter, and MNEK, who worked on a lot of Little Mix tracks like A Sweet Melody. And if you have not, which is crazy, heard or seen our Little Mix Pop 101, we implore you to do so because the episode was so much fun to film. But back into Twice, I have to say, these huge names, the reputation, wow, built it up, just to let it kind of fall flat for me.
I agree.
You know?
Honestly, like it after it came out, because obviously they announced it and I was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be so good. And then I was like, oh, I think this was like a song that like didn't make Zara Larsson's album. You know, like it was like, oh, it's a song that they didn't think was good enough for themselves, so they kind of put it in the vault, and it was picked up by JYP. That's what I get from it. You know, but to be positive, I think the dance routine again is super fun. I enjoy the video, and kind of the Coachella-esque styling was interesting and at least memorable, even if you weren't a fan of it. So yeah, I mean, because it was COVID, I think I've watched almost every performance just because there's, you know, I was just really involved in music and K-pop and everything. Because that was the only thing new to watch. Yeah.
Dude, that is so freaking hysterical. You're right. Oh my God. You know, this song really, I agree with you. Okay. So the song I've grown to like, because I like the beginning. I know I want it. I was like, oh, what you want, girl? What you want? And then it just started to kind of, even though the momentum and the tempo of the song kind of picked up a little bit, it just started to die for me, especially with the more. What is that? What? No. And again, like you said, it may have been a demo. And there's nothing wrong with something being a demo, but give it some zhuzh. And I truly dislike that JYP started doing this thing where he's teasing the hottest dance portion of the video. No, you don't do that. You don't do that. Get the part where they look the hottest. Get the part where they look the cutest. Get the part where it's like, meh. So that at least when we get to the part that's like, it will just make more sense. Because I'd already seen the dance break with its weird little dubstep moment and Momo swinging her arms like a cute little snake. But again, I really just feel like vocally it wasn't the best because Momo was singing at the edge of her range again, really high and nasally.
Mhm.
And it makes me really, it grinds my gears because it really makes me miss Pink Lamborghini Momo. And for those who don't know, Momo used to be a rapper. She was going to be the rapper, a rapper of some sort. And during one of their performances on 16, she was like, Pink Lamborghini. It is iconic at this point. I miss Pink Lamborghini Momo. I just want to say that. And but that being said, speaking of the Japanese line, all three of these women look so damn good. Ginger, Sana, come from my life, darling. Come from my life. They looked beautiful. I can't deny that. They're great looking women, you know? And I really enjoy the Garden of Eden concept, but the imagery in this video actually caused Twice to be called out by an artist named David McCarty, who designed a piece called the Pulse Portal. And during the video for More and More, the girls are walking through this like fuzzy corridor that made people think of Idol from BTS. So it's just a lot of just bullcrap started coming out. They're not in charge of that, but no one cares. They're walking through, there's a gate. The artist said, wow, the biggest girl group has stolen my idea. JYP hires production company. Production company does that. If they don't double check it, okay, and they get caught, okay. But the fact that fingers were pointed at the girls, just, it was not good for them. And I think even, I think it's just really unnecessary. You know, like this era was kind of like not great for them. You know?
Well, yeah. So speaking of Momo's vocals and controversy in general, well, so the song did actually win a bunch of times on the Korean music shows, and actually even won them their 100th music show, which is awesome, and only makes them the second Korean girl group to do so. But when they did their encore performance on Show Champion, they kind of got slated for their live vocals, especially Momo. So just to give some context, so nowadays, they tend to now just kind of lip sync on music shows, not just Twice, almost everyone. Almost everyone tends to lip sync on music shows. And I think that's because of the need for perfection and kind of the drive for perfection. But then they do the complete opposite for the encore performances and throw them in the complete deep end because they are given the pure instrumental of the song. They get handheld mics that they didn't sound check with. And they have to sing the song live while also simultaneously like celebrating their award and also thanking their fans and also saying goodbye and bowing to the other artists that are on stage. And it's just like, there's a lot going on with these. Okay. So anyway, they did not sound good. I do not deny that. They all sounded horrible. They didn't all sound horrible. Jonghyun sounded great. But these encore stages are bizarre for all the reasons I just said. And the fact that like no one would sound good in that situation. Like it's very rare that any group sounds good in these. I think in this case, she was just like completely not even close to the key. So that's why it kind of went viral. But if you watch any of the encore performances, like even from group like SM groups that are known for great vocals, like they don't sound good either. So this was unfair and it was overblown. And unfortunately, since then, if you watch newer encore performances, a lot of the members are very timid. They either won't even sing their lines or they'll kind of just like whisper it. Like they completely lost their confidence after this. So just not great. Yeah.
But yeah, there was no time to stop because of their next single and project, I Can't Stop Me.
So in October 2020, member Jonghyun announced that she would be taking a break from activities due to anxiety. And it was also later revealed that she had some issues with her neck and the discs in her spine as well. But the group went on to release their second Korean full-length album, Eyes Wide Open. And as you mentioned, it was with the lead single, I Can't Stop Me. And Twice performed the track on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, marking their first American television appearance also. So what do you think of I Can't Stop Me?
I was waiting for the girls to have their edgy moment, their run, devil, run. You know, I'm waiting for that. And although this wasn't, you know, calling a man out for doing something wrong, this was actually a good delivery of their brand of girl pop with an emotion other than sweetness. other than pain. It's just more like longing, maybe a little bit of angst, not trashy angst. Where we're like, oh my God, I'm so desperate. It's more just like, I want you and I can't stop myself from wanting you. And, that kind of feeling. The album was also pretty solid. And I didn't get a chance to say that about the More and More album. That album was More and More album was better than the single, but I digress. I did enjoy the songs on the Eyes Wide Open with Hell in Heaven and Shot Clock, which reminds me of one of their older songs like Touchdown or like Do It Again, a very chanty cheerleader song, but more refined, more mature, and doesn't sound juvenile. So I think this was, as a whole, pretty stinking solid. What did you think?
Yeah, this song has grown on me a lot.
Oh, yay.
I think, at the end of it is still very similar to Dua Lipa's Physical, melodically and just sonically. But, after you watch them perform it a couple times and everything, like you quickly forget about that. And so, yeah, I think in general, it is a great interpretation of the 80s sound that was so prominent these past few years. And I think with More and More, like they had to kind of reach, as you mentioned, like the vocals. The song clearly wasn't written for them. This song, even though I don't think this one was written specifically for them either, they did a much better job just in terms of the vocal production, the vocal distribution. Like it all sounded much more natural this time, which is good. And I enjoyed the video as well with I enjoyed this whole project. So this is actually, I like this era, this kind of late 2020 era of Twice. I'm quite a big fan of.
Regarding this album, I have to say, looking at the track list and the credits, these girls were literally on majority of the songwriting credits. So kudos to them for being more involved and more passionate about it. And there's also a little song by Kenzie on it, which is exciting, believer. So again, they're working with people, not the usual suspects from earlier, but it's interesting that once they've abandoned certain collaborators, their sound started to develop in a more Western kind of style, if you will. It's just interesting to see, especially with the next single or like pseudo single, Cry For Me. So for the 2020 Mama Awards in December, the group actually performed the unreleased track Cry For Me, which was written not only by JYP, but also had contributions from Hage, Ryan Tedder, and Melanie Joy Fontana. MJ, if you're watching, girl, you be killing the game for these girls, just saying. But yeah, this is another song that just went so well with I Can't Stop Me. So well, in fact, that I was hoping that they would kind of go for this continuous, like passionate woman kind of thing.
This is exactly where I wanted the sound to go. It's more mature. And they seem to really genuinely enjoy it. But so unfortunately though, I was then a little bit underwhelmed by the next single, Alcohol Free.
In June 2021, the group released the track Alcohol Free and the EP Taste of Love, which hit number 6 on the Billboard 200, their first top 10 album in the United States. And as Chris has mentioned, this song was not IT. This song was not it. Okay, like I said, especially coming after Eyes Wide Open and Cry For Me, the energy just completely it went out the window, out the door, whatever the expression is. I can't even think of it. All right. I just feel like it's just gone. And the song is a little, it's okay.
It's okay.
Like Dance the Night Away, Alcohol Free. I think I would prefer Alcohol Free sonically.
Oh, definitely.
Sonically. Yeah. But Dance the Night Away has more energy. So at the same time, it's just like Alcohol Free is like the lesser of the two evils. The performances rather, some of them are a bit random, like i.e. them performing for Genius, but not really explaining the lyrics that they didn't really write. Like, it's just, I didn't like that. I just feel like JYP was just like, hey, splat, bam, the song's not in English. They're not going to explain the production. There's no producer to talk about it.
Yeah.
Random. But hey, it's exposure for them. The choreography though, and the imagery of the video looks so lovely. I like the kind of Vegas martini glass moment that they were having. And Chewy Suyu, she actually gave me facials. I was sitting there like, whoa, hang on, her eyes crinkle, her teeth exist. She, you know, you can say what you want to say once, say what you want to say. The girl's beautiful. She's a Pantene commercial come to life. She's gorgeous. At the same time, the girl does not make any faces outside of the, you know, glancing out into the distance thing. And it's okay for certain songs. But she was actually sitting there smiling and swaying. And I said, oh my God, there she is. Even as a member in the group, she speaks Korean really slowly. She's kind of the one who has like the witty comments here and there. She's a savage cabbage, if you will. But at the same time, that little punch that she has does not come up on stage. Her presence as a fan is not all the way there all of the time. I said it. But I have to say also that the rap section was a little babyish for me. But I do love that the lead vocals like Jungyeon and Nayeon were singing a little bit more in the pre's, and the sub vocalists like Sana were singing in the chorus. So I thought that was interesting that at least some line distribution was switched up or just more complimentary. So
yeah, I mean, also I just want to say I think honestly the most exciting part of this release was just that Jungyeon was back. Which
yes, oh my God, that's right.
Which unfortunately she did end up going on hiatus again a few months after this release, but she did participate in the promotions for this song, which was good to see. But yeah, you know, I think again, like, I appreciate kind of the chill summer bop kind of thing that they were trying to go for. It's not a bad song. I just think it's just not particularly memorable, and it's just a bit reductive. Like, I think with the last couple of singles, they finally showed some artistic growth and maturity. And this song just felt very like, oh, I guess we need a summery song. And this is kind of just the best that they could find of their of the tracks. I don't know. It's just
no, you're right, because the album was like this too. You're right. The album was like Taste of Love was pretty laid back, and this was the strongest one. Honestly, this was the strongest song on that album. But I will say that like you mentioned before, they were getting criticized for their vocals. Even though the tracks aren't single worthy, the B-sides have better vocal production. Like First Time, there are falsettos here and there, like the I was like, okay, got a little bit of runs here and there, and them singing in lower notes, not singing from their noses, not singing from their mixed chest strain, actually singing in notes. And oh God, thank God. And they had very laid back tracks on this album. But yeah, like you said, it really was just like, hey, we need a summer song.
With the rising American success and the appearances on more American television shows like The Ellen Show, the group released their first fully English single, The Feels, in October 2021.
We have a full episode dedicated to this single, so please definitely check it out because it's more in-depth of an analysis. Go check that out. Listen to it on the podcast because it's quite fun, honey. Honestly, I feel like but like a lot of the songs that Anna Timgren writes, I'm here for it. And she did write The Fields as well, and I really did like the song. And interestingly enough, with this song and the music video, the group actually teased their album and world tour. Look at that. All in one shot. Here comes the Twice-spiracy again. It's all connected.
And they didn't even know that they were going on tour.
They did. Which is so awkward. Oh God, where was the communication? I guess it's meant to be like a cute surprise, but we'll get that in a second. We'll get to that in a second about them not knowing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked this song. It brought back the classic guitars. And I love the articulation that they had as a group, and they did a good job. And I love the styling. I think with this video, though, we might not get any more plaid cheerleader girls, which is either a good or bad thing, depending on what side you're on. But
I think this is a really strong effort for the first English single. I think it did get a good push on US radio as well and made a decent dent, for what it was. So I'm glad that they were able to at least accomplish that, since they couldn't do full promotion over here for it. And as I mentioned in the other episode, the Stereotypes remix is superior to me. It's really, really good.
And speaking of superior, one does not need a superior intellect to be their lover with the next single, Scientist.
Love ain't no science, don't need no license. 말 이상 내고 고민할 수 minus. Don't try to be a genius, so why so serious?
So in November 2021, the group released Formula of Love. O plus T equals love, I guess is how you would say it.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Once plus twice. Yeah.
Once plus twice equals 3. I don't know.
Love.
Okay. With the title track, Scientist, and the album had huge sales worldwide and also included the group's first actual subunit original tracks. They had done performances on tour, but finally we got some original ones. And so this whole era confuses me a little bit because I think the song, though it is more mature, again, just feels a little, I don't know, like it's just very basic. Like I feel like any girl group could have released it. There's no like flavor to it. There's no like, this is Twice.
Yeah.
And what's more confusing to me is that the album tracks are so much better than this song and so much fiercer too. Like it almost feels like these girls want to go more fierce, like that they're ready to be a little sexier. And then they were given this song as their title track, and it just all feels just very confusing. Like they just don't really know what to do with them sonically.
It's just like, oh God, oh wait, hang on, something cute. It's about love. That's easy. For me, like you said, they have so many other songs on this album that are good. Interestingly enough, though, when I heard this song, the bass line reminded me of Boa's Camouflage. So instantly I just thought edgy, but that's my fault. And also, like you said, even songs like Icon, they were bold.
Espresso, bold.
We have B-sides that kind of tickle at the idea of punchiness, that tickle at the idea of grown women, but still carrying that typical feminine energy, and putting quotes around that for people who can't see. I'm happy that they did that. But again, I agree with you. The song is not bad, but it could be somewhere earlier on in their careers at this point, especially with what they've done with Can't Stop Me, Cry for Me, and even that whole album. Like it's just,
but I think it's even weird because it doesn't fully fit with kind of the Cheer Up and the TTs either. Like it sits in a really weird spot of like, it's like they've outgrown the kind of super cutesiness that was that. And then they've moved on to kind of I Can't Stop Me and this kind of just a more powerful
backwards
situation. And then this song just kind of falls kind of weirdly in the middle of that. I don't know.
A little backwards.
Yeah, so it's a little strange, and I don't think the song did as well as their previous releases either. So they're definitely in an interesting spot because we have arrived at the present day as of this recording. This was their latest release for us. So the group has announced tour dates, including ones in America, which you have tickets to, and I will maybe be going to as well. They have continued to release more singles in Japan as well. Jungyeon unfortunately has announced another hiatus. And lastly, and most importantly, the contracts with JYP are actually up in 2022. But before we discuss what we hope is next for Twice and all of its members, let's share highlights from their back catalog. So what have you chosen for our listeners?
Okay, so vocally, this song is not impressive in the sense where it's like, oh my God, they could blow, but it definitely shows a direction that they could go in and could possibly excel at because no one's really doing it. And it's Make Me Go.
Ain't nobody around, do it like it should. Do it, do it, do it, do it. Yeah, you make me go. Let me now, let me go. You make me go. And ain't nobody else when it feels good. You make me go. Ain't nobody around, do it like it should.
It is electro, pop, funky bassline, anti-drop goodness. I mean, again, vocally not outstanding, but when these girls sing in their chest voice and not through their nose or in their blend, that half air, half sound JYP blend, they sound good. And it really lets them sit in a nice place of like that cool, sleek, and sexy sound. Like they can do suit and tie. We've seen it. They can give you Legally Blonde, but like the noir version. They can do it.
Yeah.
Will JYP let them? I don't know, but that's one of my favorite songs, Make Me Go. What about you?
Nice. I actually struggled a little bit with the choice for this because I wasn't sure if I wanted to choose something that really did kind of show the fiercer, kind of sexier side that they have done more so on their tours and stuff, or choose something that I thought would make more sense than Scientists as a single. So I ended up going with the latter, and I chose FILA from the Formula of Love album. So first off, I am very on brand because not only is this a disco bop, but it was also co-written by Karen Poole, who we've mentioned on this channel before because she worked on some amazing Kylie Minogue songs, including Wow and Chocolate, and NCTU's Make a Wish as well, which I love. Yes. And so I just think, obviously, the disco thing is kind of big right now. And this song is a good balance of the very sweet but mature kind of thing that I feel like they were on the trajectory towards until this year. Right. So I just think it would have made way more sense as a single instead of Scientist, and I enjoy the melody of it.
But that kind of brings us on to like what's next for them. Like I said, like sonically, this makes sense. I think personally, maybe it's just me being like weird and psychoanalyzing people I don't know, parasocial relationships and such. But I really do think that as women, they really want to try more emotional things. Like even when they do like their solos or like they separate and do subunits on the tours, Gio picked freaking Taemin's song, Sayonara Hitori. Nothing about that is like pretty, and it is very passionate. It is very angsty. And also these girls do have varying degrees, I think, of depression. Maybe not all of them are as obvious as the others, but Gio has mentioned it. We all know that Mina and Junghyun. To some extent, these girls are tired, and I think they want to express it more. And if they did it with Feel Special, I feel like it's definitely something that's possible. But I think if they kind of tap into a little bit more of that little sexier side, where Miss A was going, they could do it because there is no group doing that. It's not impossible, and it's not completely off brand of JYP. And also I don't think that they will all renew because I've been feeling like for a while that they just seem tired. And like I said, with the Japanese singles, the weird contrast between them releasing Alcohol Free and The Feels and all these other cute songs right after Cry For Me, the Japanese single that they were releasing, oh my gosh, holy crap. I'm trying to figure out why those weren't Korean singles and then let the other Alcohol Free be the Japanese one. No offense to Japan whatsoever, but their Japanese singles right after in this little awkward spot we're talking about, absolutely amazing. But yeah, I just wish that the Japanese singles that we got in between Alcohol Free and Scientist may have been the singles. But yeah, what do you think about them as a group? I mean, since you're all learned and inundated now,
yeah,
what are your thoughts?
I think so for me, obviously, I didn't really I didn't know them that well kind of until this, I was prepping for this and I was able to kind of watch interviews and stuff. I get the sense, even from watching, so I watched the Twicelights concert. I also watched the latest concert that they did on Beyond Live at the end of December 2021. And you can already kind of see the spark is actually a little gone for some of the members.
It's fading out,
effort isn't fully there. And I'm sure part of it is just because they're nervous. They haven't performed a full show, in a while because of COVID. But I don't know. I do kind of, I feel like the thing with JYP, as we learned with GOT7, and some of the previous artists as well, is that he does kind of stifle their creativity a little bit. Like these girls have worked nonstop pretty much since they debuted. We haven't gotten any solo projects. We haven't gotten any, even like acting gigs really from any of the members, or just their own things. They haven't really gotten the freedom or the time to do that and explore that. So I think I also could see them not renewing because of that, or heavily negotiating the need that they get to explore other things on their own, and then maybe coming back as a group maybe once a year or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. It does feel a little bit like the passion isn't fully there. And I think like kind of an SNSD, it almost seems like they're happy to always stay friends and kind of be that unit together. But I don't know if they all will feel the need to actually continue musically as a group. So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I would be curious to see solo projects from most of them. I think it would be interesting just to see what they do.
Yeah, they've been doing something like little releases here and there as solos or like little covers. So that's nice, but it isn't.
But not true. Yeah, but not true like solo projects where they can fully, be their most creative selves.
Right.
And yeah, sonically, I mean, we do have the rest of 2022, so it'll be interesting to see kind of what their final releases, I guess, of this, at least of this contract period are. But I do hope for something that's a more like an I Can't Stop Me kind of continuing that trend. You can just pretend 2021 releases didn't happen. Like I would love, you mentioned Sistar earlier. I would love a Give It To Me or an Alone.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Yes. Sorry.
Like that as the inspiration. I think it makes sense for them. Yeah.
Yeah. Or even like I mentioned that Japanese single, it's called Perfect World. It was so fierce. It sounded like Hoot, but Hoot had a whole attitude adjustment and she was fierce. That's what Perfect World sounds like. They can do it, but will JYP let them? Like you said. So, I mean, with that being said, I do believe that class is dismissed.
All right, so leave us some comments and hit us up on our social media accounts at CCTV Pops and let us know what you think of Twice and who else you'd like us to feature in this 101 series. Please give us a like, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell. And for our listeners, please give us a rating and review on your podcast platform of choice. Don't forget to check out our Twice playlists on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Music. Until next time, that's Shan.
That's Chris.
And we are CCTV. Bye.